Humans have a baseline need for sanctuary. When the world becomes chaotic, we look for something sturdy and unmoving, a physical barrier that can absorb the impact of the elements so we don't have to. This instinct often leads us to build or join a vessel. These are the structures we trust to navigate life's storms, whether they are long-term relationships, a long and stable career, or institutions meant to protect us. But that trust is precarious. The moment you realize the floor is wet and the hull is taking on water, the sense of security vanishes. You're left with the horrifying realization that your sanctuary is failing. In the text Abandoning the Sinking Vessel, the author describes a specific type of failure. The holes weren't caused by a storm or an accident. They were poked into the boat by the person the author trusted to navigate it. This intentional act changes everything. When the person at the helm sinks the ship, the boat is no longer a tool for survival. It becomes the primary source of danger. We often stay in these dangerous situations because of the sunk cost fallacy. As this flowchart shows, we tend to double down on a failing path because we've already invested so much effort, which only drains our remaining resources faster. The author captures this paradox perfectly. They describe rowing with everything they have, even as the currents push them further away from safety and deeper into the open sea. The physical act of rowing creates a sense of control. As long as your hands are on the oars, you can convince yourself that you might still be able to fix what is broken through sheer effort. This graph illustrates why that belief is a delusion. The blue line shows water entering through intentional leaks, while the red line shows energy levels. The math is clear. Water is coming in much faster than anyone can row. Continuing to row a boat that someone else is actively sinking isn't a sign of strength. It is a form of denial that uses up the energy you actually need to save your own life. At a crossroads, stay or swim. This matrix maps survival probability. The remain path hits 0. If you stay, you go down with the sabotaged ship. Jumping brings immediate vulnerability, but the volatile swim path stays above 0. It represents an actual chance to live. The cost of that chance is high. The water is cold, the waves are exhausting, and the shore is so distant it's almost impossible to see. The choice comes down to a simple calculation. You can accept a guaranteed end inside the boat, or you can face the high-stakes uncertainty of the open water. To make that jump, you have to stop looking for the person at the helm to save you. You have to shift your entire weight onto your own arms, your own legs, and your own faith. Leaving the boat isn't about finding a better ship. It's about reclaiming your agency. By jumping, you take the power of your survival away from the person who betrayed you. The text suggests that even if you don't make it to the shore, there is a dignity in the attempt. Drowning while trying to swim is a personal choice. Drowning because you stayed in someone else's trap is a tragedy. Real courage is the decision to face the waves on your own terms, rather than waiting for a broken system to decide your fate. When you finally plunge into the water, the relationship with the boat ends. The physical act of jumping creates an immediate distance that forces you to stop focusing on the betrayal and start focusing on the next breath. The shift is total. Your attention narrows to the mechanics of the water, the movement of your arms, the timing of the waves, and the steady push forward. There is no going back to the vessel once you've made this choice. In the open water, looking back at the sinking ship is a waste of energy. The only way to survive is to keep your eyes on the horizon. The swimmer's goal is simple: survive the immediate swell and maintain the effort required to eventually reach the shoreline. Everything depends on the hope of standing on steady ground again. Survival isn't comfortable, and letting go requires stepping into a cold, dark unknown. But as the author makes clear, taking that plunge is the only way to preserve yourself.